Hey Sterlingers, hope you're having a good day. I'm here with the Black Rose Wars mages, and I'm starting off with Nero. I want to see what kind of reaction I get to painting these miniatures. This is an amazing game, and he's primed in matte white, and I'm going to be starting off with some chaotic red, which technically I should have started with as a primer, because this guy has so many nooks and crannies to get into and hard areas. And considering also that my Abomination Gore, it's not Abomination Gore, this is Chaotic Red. I don't know why the paint is horrible, even if you shake it up a lot. I think the primer would have been a better idea. And so what we're doing here now, some people think that this is flames. Some people think it's like his robes that are floating. He kind of reminds me of Doctor Strange a bit for that reason. You know, with the robe that's like alive and all that stuff and magical. And so I'm painting this almost like a little bit of both. A little bit of a flame, a little bit of a robe. So the underpaint is going to be this really dark red. And then we're actually going to make it even more red with a tone that we're going to put on afterwards. And then I'm going to, I'm going to jazz it up a bit. But again, as you can see, I put a second coat on of that chaotic red. And now I'm splatting on some red tone just to darken it even more. Get into the spots I might have missed to make those a little bit more red. Have a little bit of a hue to it as well. Get into the recesses, darken it down. So when I do some other future stuff on this miniature, it'll turn out even more lifelike and more flame-like, more robe-like. So it's hard to tell. What do you guys think it is? A robe, a flame? Abomination Gore is next, and what we're doing is a dry brush now over that area, but mostly just on the lower parts. And we're going to be doing most of his clothing. So he has the shoulder pads, you got his shirt, like his vest or whatever, that's the Abomination Gore, is like a reddish, more bright red. And again, if I hit the chaotic red, like the edges are, that's fine, because I wanted the edges to have a little bit of a brighter light to it. If you guys haven't played Black Rose Wars, this is by Ludus Magnus Studio. Awesome game, very long to play, you have to be very patient. I ended up buying the core box, then bought the expansion, then bought all the miniature expansions, and then found out there was like a Kickstarter way back when that had a Sator box that they called. And so I picked it up actually from Ludus Magnus, paid a buttload of shipping to get it from here, from Italy, but it was so worth it because I got a good price on that box. And so many beautiful miniatures, including a ton of new mages. So this is actually from the core game. If you guys are enjoying seeing Black Rose Wars painted on the channel, please hit a like button and subscribe as well if you're new, and keep an eye out for all those new ones. We're doing Dorado skin now for his face. He's got a bit of skin also on his chest there you're going to want to paint, and his hands. Actually, sorry, no, not his hands, because his hands have brown gloves, so that's another color later on. It's really just his face, his neck, and his chest. And he has his arms too that you need to do the skin. That was a real pain because his arms are underneath this robe or flame or whatever it is, behind other stuff of the miniature. This, like you can see, there's this miniature is like I got a bonhomme or a person in between two pillars kind of thing that are wavy and all sorts of things going on here and there. So it is not the easiest one I chose to paint. Sorry, I lost my voice there for a second. Yeah, so it's not the easiest miniature to paint to start off with, especially not for Black Rose Wars, but these miniatures are amazing. Even the bases, you won't see much on the base on this, but they all pretty much have like the roses with like vines and stuff, and like the whole base is already made. It's really cool, and you'll see what I'm going to do to the base later on. This is a little bit longer video than usual, so I'm sorry about that, but I hope you guys enjoyed anyways. As you can see, I'm really trying to get every area with that Dorado skin. Oak brown now. This is going to be for those gloves. For some reason, again, oak brown is very glossy. I don't know why, but anyways, my dry brushing later on when I hit it by accident, but it ends up making a good OSL, is perfect, but it still makes it a little bit more matte. But when you'll see when I put it on the back of the boots, it's going to be so shiny. But thankfully, it's in the back. It's a little bit more faded, a little bit more of a shade. It ends up being a little bit more hidden by the details of the miniature. But again, it's all, this miniature is so mixed into each other. Like the gloves are mixed into those flames, so you got to be careful. What are you hitting? Is it a glove or is it a flame? You got to pretty much check everything and make sure that you're getting all the right spots. And also just try not to touch too much other stuff. You can touch it all up in the end, but I think you might even notice as it's spinning later on, there even is some white left underneath at some spots because they're just impossible to get to. I don't know how other people have done it, and again, I am a new painter. I always will be, even if I've been doing this for 3 years. every miniature to me is a new miniature and a new way of painting. Matte black now, we're doing his hair with this, and we're also going to be doing a lot of other little details, like on his pants. They're very poofy pants or puffy pants. He's got the red lines, got the black lines on it, so we're going to get all that area done with that. We got a couple parts of the belt that's done. We got his goatee there, that's also black. I think that's his goatee, we're not even sure anymore. His eyebrows. And like I said, there's like a little pouch of a belt here sticking out a little bit on that side, because the rest of the belt is another color, which is going to come up later on. Now we're trying to get inside all those poofy pant lines again. You know, I won't talk about that much more. That's where you put the matte black. It's that simple. But to come back to the game again, so this is a battle of mages, so it's kind of cool. And with the expansion, you can play with the 6 players and makes the game even longer. And you're talking about a 3-hour game probably with 6 players. But it is fun because it's a deck building game, because you're picking up magic spells from different schools of magic. There's necromancy, there's herbology, I think, or something like that. Like, I mean, it's almost like having Harry Potter at home, but in a really cool version. Sorry if you're a Harry Potter fan. I love Harry Potter, but this is an adult version of Harry Potter, in my opinion. And yeah, so you put mage versus mage. You can have monsters appear from the mages that are that they're making these guys appear. Anyways, lava orange is our next color, and this is where we're starting the flames in his hand. We're also going to do a smallish dry brush of this on top of that chaotic red, just to bring out some more orange and some more of that flame in the robe kind of thing. If it is a robe, I have no idea. Like I said, it could be even like a flame engulfing this character, and I think that's what it is. But then it also looks like he's wearing silks. Anyways, demonic yellow. Here's my take on trying to do just edge highlighting. Yeah, I suck. So go back to dry brushing. Let's get at dry brushing instead. It's a lot better, a lot easier. Okay, it's not necessarily better. It's a little bit sloppy, but at least it gets exactly what I want. Like sort of like an OSL. Also getting like the flame color being hotter at the top. I also did it on like his the hands and all that stuff. It just really makes it work. And again, I hit the gloves, so it gives it that object source lighting again. So it looks like his hands are glowing from the yellow. Now we're using some night scales. This is a metallics paint from Army Painter. It's from their metallics colors paint set. So this is only unique in there. I don't know if you can buy these individually still yet. This has been many years now. It's been out. It's been a few, I don't know, at least 2 years, I think. Had them for a long time. And so this black scales, or these night scales, it's funny because on the picture it does not look this color, or on the bottom. It looks almost like a darkish black brown, and it ends up being almost like a dark navy blue. Very, very cool. But on this guy, it looked perfect for his jewelry, for that line on his chest there, on his belt, for the front of his boots. He had, I was looking at pictures, by the way, the images in the game, the cards, not easy at all to see what the artwork looks like. Greedy gold is our next color. I'm sorry, I'm losing my voice again. We're going to be putting this on a lot of the trimmings, a lot of the areas around like his clothing, making him very wizard-like. We're going to get all these little nooks and crannies on the bottom here. You'll see this again. It's behind all this stuff that's floating around him, so it's sometimes very hard with this miniature to work. So again, take your time with it, and you'll get it done, and it'll look really good in the end. It'll be a nice miniature to paint. And again, if you're enjoying Black Rose Wars, if you've played it, if you haven't painted it yet, and you want to see a new paint it, not some super high advanced person, because there's some painters out there that make this stuff look amazing. Of course, I make it look table ready. That's my goal, is to make you guys enjoy painting and have fun doing it. And that's what I do. I have fun painting my minis, and I do it for me. You know, the videos are just a second hobby that I do to kick things off a bit and have fun with that as well. And so if you want to see more Black Rose Wars, please hit that like button, all right, and hit that subscribe button especially, and you'll be notified as well if you hit that little bell. All right, we're using some stone golem now on the bottom base there, so this is where we're going to start working a bit on the base before we finish off the other miniature. We're putting a stone golem. It's a very light gray. Even if we hit the roses and the vines, we're going to come back on top of them and clean those up after. We just want to get a nice little base layer on there. I did the rim too. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it that way. I might go back and paint it black, just so that it's very different, because I don't know, I'm not too keen on the gray. A little bit of green skin from Army Painter now. I just took a very tiny brush, tried to figure out what was a vine, what was a rock. I went about with what I thought was what, and I think I might have painted one of the roses too by accident in green, but it doesn't really show until after when you put the wash down, and I noticed that. But just try and keep an eye out here. There's some, some vines here and there, poking out, protruding. Some are really hidden under these robes, and this is where I do now the roses. So I'm pretty much going to always do the roses and the vines with the green skin and the pure red on the heroes, anyways, on the mages. On the what do you call them? Evocations is what they're called, so the monsters. I might change it up a bit because they're supposed to be more shadowy like, so I might put something different. We're pretty much going to be putting Nuln Oil on the entirety of this miniature. Actually, I think we are putting some everywhere. Just to finish off all the details. Also, it's going to hide a little bit of the mistakes you might have made. If you missed any of white, this will darken it a little bit. I mean, it's going to get into the recesses. It's going to give it a whole new look to it. Do the ground with this too, the base, but I don't, like I said, I hit a bit of that edge. That's why I'm thinking I might go back to black and just paint it all black. Or maybe some other color. I don't know. I just think that the base is gray. It just doesn't do it for me. Anyways, there you have it, folks. Nero from Black Rose Wars, not Rebirth, this is the first one, is painted and ready to fight the other mages in the Black Rose Lodge. I want to thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you all in the next one.